Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Suresh from Mind is a Monkey coming at you guys with another episode of Let's Check Out Some Diecast. In today's video, we are going to be reviewing the Hot Wheels Silver Series, and this particular assortment is Fast and Furious Brian O'Connor. It's an assortment of 5 cars based on models which were from the movie, driven by Brian O'Connor, played by the late Paul Walker. So this set actually kind of like came sometime around Christmas last year. That was Christmas of 2024. But, you know, this was like a super heavily hoarded set, highly collectible. Well, you can't blame them because it has like 2 Supras and, the very famous Nissan Skyline GTR BNR 34 that we have all come to love and collect. So, you know, it took me many months after that to actually get my hands on a set. It came through a friend in the local Hot Wheels community. So fun trade. And in addition to this set, we are also going to be checking out this beautiful Toyota Supra that happened to be 7-Eleven exclusive. And I also wanted to kind of like open this because it's got a Supra, this 5-pack that's got a Supra, and I wanted to kind of like check out that Supra along with that semi-premium Silver Series one. All right. Okay. So without further delay, let's dive right in. Now, with regards to card art, I mean, all of these cars are kind of like set against that winding mountainside road, right? So that's the recurring theme on all the cars. Okay. So at number 1, we have the 1995 Mitsubishi Eclipse. Now, this is from the very first Fast and the Furious movie. Okay. And the fact that it's Silver Series means it comes in with all these added details. Wow. Check out that carbon fiber pattern on the hood. Okay. And check this out, guys. This is an Easter egg. So the RNO263, it's actually the license plate of this car in the movie. In the movie, it's actually an Arizona registration. And that small graphic that you see between RNO and 263, it's actually a cactus, right? So that's an Arizona tailplate. So that's a pretty cool detail. So there we have the 1995 Mitsubishi Eclipse, driven by Brian O'Connor in the first film, which is Fast and the Furious. At number 2, we have another car from the same movie, which is the first movie, Fast and the Furious. And this is the Toyota Supra. This is a very famous car whenever it comes to Fast and the Furious and Brian O'Connor. So we have seen this car, this specific orange car with this graphic, make a lot of appearances in Fast and the Furious. It was even part of the Fast and the Furious diorama collector set, which was the premium collector set offered here in the United States as Walmart exclusives. All right, so there we have a beautiful set of wheels. Those graphics are always beautiful. These graphics they always remind me of Aerosmith for some reason, right? So and no Easter egg of a tailplate here. So the Toyota and the Supra and the Toyota logo and the decals, the deco for the headlights and the taillights. So definitely a beautiful Supra to be added to any Supra lovers collection. All right, let me set it right there. Okay, at number 3, wow, drum rolls please. I think this possibly because of Lamley, right? So this has got so much of love among collectors, not just movie buffs, but even JDM lovers, right? The GTR R34 has come to become a model that we love, and it is very popular in this specific Fast and Furious livery. Right, so there have been a lot of GTR R34s that have been delivered by Hot Wheels, but I think this has got to be one of the most popular deco on this R34 casting. So excellent choice of wheels. This is from the second movie, which is too fast, too furious, right? So beautiful grill. That's the distinctive grill of the R34 tooling in Hot Wheels. So it says GTR, all those tail lights. So definitely, I'm pumped about having been able to add this to my R34 collection. I have a decent collection of R34. I mean, I don't have the high-end ones like the NFT car or something like that. But, among whatever was the premium offering and whatever was some of those main lines, I think I have a decent collection of these. Maybe I'll do a separate video some other day. At number 4, we have the 1970 Ford Escort RS 1600. Now, this is from the 6th Fast and Furious movie. So I think that was just simply called Fast and Furious 6 or something like that. All right. Okay, so there we have those additional headlights, which is like a very distinctive feature. These plastic headlights are always like a distinctive feature of the 1600 casting, RS 1600 casting. So beautiful blue and white. There's a saying, blue and white, beautiful sight. I mean, this was something funny we guys used to say as kids. So very beautiful casting. And whoa, another Easter egg, YLV7J. I think this one is also a reference to the actual tailplate which is used on this car in the film, right? So nice detail there. Okay, and the last and final piece in this assortment is this second Toyota Supra, and this comes in the 7th movie, which is Furious 7. And if you guys may remember, this comes in the last scene where Dom and Brian, they are parting ways, right? So that is this, this is the car that Brian is driving in the movie. It's a white Toyota Supra, and then they finally kind of like come to a fork and they split ways. And yep, pretty beautiful add to the Supra collection. So let me set it there. So that's with the Hot Wheels Silver Series Brian O'Connor mini series from Fast and Furious lineup. Now let's check this out. All right. So the beautiful 711 Toyota Supra. So I think about an year ago, maybe 8 months ago, right? So this started doing the rounds. I think the first ever 711 exclusives for diecast in recent times were the Auto Worlds, right? So, and with that, we definitely knew that distribution was not their best game, right? So people got pretty anxious if they would ever be able to find these, before, everybody kind of like scooped them up. So, there was a specific time when, the internet was going crazy. Social media, Insta and Facebook were going crazy with people finding these. So luckily, a Speedway, which owns 711, also ended up getting these shippers, right? So Speedway has a relatively stronger distribution in the place where I live. There are like more Speedway stores than 711 stores. That's what I mean. So lucky for me, I ended up checking out a Speedway that had just put the shipper out, right? So the fun part was I ended up picking like 5 or 6 pieces, but I got all the pretty neat cards, right? Because in a shipper, some of these cards, they're always like crammed into those nukes and the cards get bent and stuff like that. So I was pretty happy that I was able to kind of like score this. Now, even though this is just one casting, it is still part of the Hot Wheels Silver Series, right? I think that just designates that this is a semi-premium model with all that fun detailing and stuff like that. A beautiful Toyota Supra in 711 deco with a 711 store in the background. And, so nice colors. Not a lot of detail here, I guess. But it says it's a Toyota official licensed product, 711. So, and all that stuff. So very cool, and it's also kind of like the floor is wet, so it's more like it's just it was just driving in the rain and it took a stop at a 7-Eleven, right? Because there's like water on the floor and that also has like a reflection. So a lot of nice thought has gone into the card art. So let's open this up. But unlike your usual, Hot Wheels Silver Series, which retail for like $3.50 or something like that, plus taxes depending on which part of the country you are, this one was possibly somewhere like $5 or $6. Yeah, I don't remember. It's been at least like a month or two. So I think it retails for like $5 or $6. But then let's check out the deco. It's there. It says 7-Eleven in those beautiful colors. It says HW Graphics, and I'm not able to figure out what the lower one is. Okay, Toyota, and a 7-Eleven on cars off 7-Eleven on the side. All right. And wow, an Easter egg, WHERECAR, right? So Toyota Supra and the Toyota emblem, just like this particular model. So, and just like this one, or even this one for that matter, those are the recurring themes. But check this out. It has a nice Easter egg for a tailplate, which is called the WHERECAR. Now, I kind of like came across this tailplate some time back, and I was just like looking up to see if it meant something. So there are like a couple of theories floating around on the internet. One that says it was actually part of a 7-Eleven commercial, and the car in that commercial actually has a tailplate that says WHERECAR, right? And the other, less meaningful theory was that it was something of an internet meme where 7-Eleven would put a picture without a car in it and everybody would comment WHERECAR. I don't know. It sounds crazy, but that's what I read, right? But definitely, a pretty execution. And I'm just like glad that I was able to add it to the Supra collection. All right. So let's just set it here. And up next today is this pretty cool 5-pack, also from the Fast and Furious movie. And here's a fun fact, if you didn't know. So, these dotted lines, the right way or the recommended way to open this would be to kind of like open it across those, is to rip the package along those dotted lines, right? And now that I have done this, you can just lift this up and get the cars out, right? So that's like a neat way, because I didn't know this much earlier, and I would do all crazy things to get that opened up. So this is like a neat way. All right, so the fun thing about this packaging is that it says every movie that the car is from, right? So the first car, the Dodge Charger RT, this is a very popular casting with regards to Fast and the Furious. 70 Dodge Charger RT. That's from the very first movie, Fast and the Furious. And then we have this beautiful Toyota Supra. I'm wondering if it has any, Easter eggs for tailplates, but no. So remember, this is the basic mainline version of the car. We will put these cars side by side and check out their features. So this is also from the first movie, The Fast and the Furious, the Toyota Supra that Brian drives. And number 3, this shiny metal flake Mustang. It's a 67 custom Mustang from the third Fast and the Furious movie, which is Tokyo Drift, right? So beautiful. Wow, I've always been a big fan of that metal flake green. All right, let me set it right there. And up next is the 70 Chevelle SS from Fast and Furious. Although now I'm a little confused because, the first movie was The Fast and the Furious. Now, there's another movie, which is Fast and Furious. I just thought I was telling it incorrectly all the time, but apparently it's possibly like the 5th movie or something. I have to kind of like go back. I do kind of like check these movies when I have the time, but I think I'm not fanatic enough to kind of like figure out these subtleties, I guess. All right. Okay. So there we have the 70 Chevelle SS from Fast and Furious. I didn't know that was like a separate movie. Wow. Humbling moment. Now this, the Aston Martin 1963 DB5. I think this is probably driven by Jason Statham, I guess. This is Fast and Furious 6, right? So pretty beautiful. This also reminds me of James Bond. All right, so let's set it right there. And now, that's pretty much what I had, but I quickly wanted to take this opportunity to compare these two models, because this one is from the Hot Wheels Silver Series, while this is your normal mainline car, right? So, this is definitely a tad heavier, or maybe I'm just imagining it, all right? Because both of these are plastic bases. Also, which reminds me to see if any of these are metal on metal. Nope. All of them were pretty much metal on plastic. All right. So now with regards to these two models, right? So Silver Series versus mainline, the noticeable differences would be the tail lights, right? So all these details on the tail lights. Okay, so you see that all of those details are missing on the mainline, right? And the wheels, right? Now these are your basic mainline wheels, right? Which is like your most generic Hot Wheels wheel. But these are kind of like a tad more special, I guess, right? And even, I think the front decals, even though they're present on both cars, I mean, this one looks a little more crisp, I would say, but honestly, I think that's subjective. Some would say that, hey, I prefer the headlights on this mainline. All right. So I guess the front headlights are never a distinguishing feature. So they would possibly be on every car, irrespective of whether it is Silver Series or basic mainline. But the distinguishing feature would definitely be observed in the tail lights and the choice of wheels. All right. So, and definitely, I mean, the fact that it has a darker shade of orange, I don't think that has anything to do with the line, right? So I think that was just like a different shade that they chose. All right. Okay. So there we have it. So the Fast and Furious Brian O'Connor series and the 711 Supra, along with another 5-pack from Fast and Furious. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Till I meet you guys next time, this is Suresh signing off. Rock on and stay awesome. Bye, everyone.